All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special evening because we have a brand new Fist performer. And she is closing this motherfucker down. So, real quick word about her. She's an amazing bartender over at Playground. You should go over there and you should tip her very well. And she's also just a fucking badass mom. She's got a 6-year-old. She's about to tell you all about him. Please welcome to the stage, Amanda.
So apparently Wikipedia has 2 definitions of adulthood. It's biological and legal. Legally, I'm an adult. I've been 18 for some time now. We don't have to get into it. I can buy guns, tobacco, liquor, or as I like to call it, being American. I can buy porn, and if I so desired, I can make it. I have a driver's license. I haven't been financially dependent on my parents since I was 17. And I can vote. I voted twice, which is a full-blown lie. I voted once. I woke up too late and lost my voter registration card, and I just told people that I voted because they were being really, really fucking obnoxious about it that year. So, biologically, I'm also an adult. I've been an adult since I was 13, despite the fact that my measurements are just past post-pubescent. Whatever. I shed my uterine lining every month amidst half-empty bottles of wine and Fleetwood Mac Silver Springs on repeat. Because there's something about Stevie Nicks that makes menstruation in life okay. So I guess, you can say that I landed in adulthood between 17, 18, which is what Wikipedia fails to mention are a few words that can also pertain to adulthood, which are pregnancy, parenthood, marriage, and divorce, which I fell into between the ages of 19 and 22. At the age of 19, I thought I was rocking the shit out of adulthood. I had a new job at the Marriott. I had a 2004 used Hyundai that I bought in cash, and I was about to roll into some pretty sweet insurance options. I had a live-in boyfriend, and we were just starting to fight like real adults. I found out bangs totally worked for me. When my mom called, I told her things were great, things were awesome, and then summer 2007 came, and things weren't so great. Things were positive. I was knocked up. I decided to keep it, and I named it Jack. I was just starting to get the swing of things, and I had to start considering taking care of another human being when I was just starting to get the swing of taking care of myself. I was microwaving Hormel completes and drinking rum and cokes and chain smoking every night before that. So things were great. They're good. They're not so bad. As it turns out, it's one of the few things I'm good at, parenthood, that thing that they called parenthood. Aside from that, I'm really good at a Bob Dylan impression when I'm really drunk. We'll do it later, trust me, just buy my shot. The boyfriend and I decided, after inquiries from concerned relatives, to get married, because that's what adults did. That's what adults with children did, for sure. And we kind of had to save face about that whole getting knocked up at 19 debacle. did not come so easy for me. All that adult-like fighting that became fine before pregnancy became annoying during and unbearable afterwards. We were two entirely different people now, as people become when they age. And while he chased down promotions, I chased down a toddler and tried to decide what it was that I was going to do with my life. Naturally, resentment began to grow, so things got a little bit steep. I'm improvising because I lost my spot. As a child of two parents that should have gotten divorced long before I turned 17, I knew that we were creating a toxic environment for our son. I didn't want him to come home from school retreating to his room and slamming the door with a knot in his stomach as I had grown so accustomed to in my childhood. I didn't want him to be embarrassed to invite over friends, and I didn't want him to think that this was normal, or worst of all, that this is love. So I called the shot. At 23, I became a divorcee. I moved in with my best friend, and for the next 3 years began picking up the pieces. And if we can, I would like to give a round of applause to said best friend over here, if we could, because without whom I probably would be homeless. And I felt like a complete failure. I didn't have a degree to speak of. They don't exactly hand out degrees for domestic engineering, which is what I did for about 4 years. But I had wanted to be a writer. That was a cute dream. And I cut out the middleman and did what most English majors do once they graduate. I walked my ass back into the service industry, and I became a bartender. As it turns out, I do generally enjoy it. I love what I do. But I still felt like a failure. I had done all the adult things in such a short period of time, and yet why didn't I feel more accomplished? So, just a little backstory. Into my reality, I guess. Every other week, I drop Jack off to school in Oro Valley. Oh, yeah. Men in suits drive their shiny SUVs to work, and women with diamonds the size of my molar teeth, my wisdom teeth, what have you. I haven't had insurance in a really long time. They drive their kids to school and they kiss them goodbye before they shuffle off to their CrossFit classes. And I pull up in my 96 Buick Century that my grandfather left me before he died. And I turn down the Black Sabbath so as not to raise any eyebrows. And because Jack has asked me for the millionth time to turn it down. I don't know who's raising who, because this weekend he called me out on wearing my pajamas all day and eating pizza for breakfast, so whatever. And I think, what am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't have a mortgage, I don't have a degree, I don't have a house or a desk job. Jack's lunch probably has fucking gluten in it. I'm killing my child because I was a teen mom. But they said I was an adult. They said I was an adult. They said I could do it. So I come to the conclusion that adulthood isn't something that you mark off in checklists or through the passing of time. It's not something that you know how to claim on your taxes, although I do recommend it. It's not a 401k, which I think it might be a gun. I think it might be a gun. It's taking your life into your own hands and unapologetically making it something that you're proud of. It's not laying in bed wondering what the what-ifs are instead. It's fucking doing it. So, last week I dropped Jack off at his summer program before my shift at work. And a little kid looked up at me in between his drawing, and he kind of sneered at me disdainfully and said, "Who are you?" And this happens a lot in Oro Valley. Oftentimes they think that Jack's stepmom is his real mom and that I'm the help. And sometimes I pick him up, sometimes his dad does, sometimes my fiance picks him up, sometimes his stepmom does. It's all a mismatch. And I guess they haven't heard of divorce in Oro Valley. Or if they have, somebody gets a younger wife and somebody gets a timeshare. I think it's hard to fathom that a biomedical engineer can knock up somebody with a penchant for tequila in the Velvet Underground, but that's what happens. So, I mean, it's fine. I tend to go into a long-winded description of our family and co-parenting and my role in his life, but why? I'm an adult. I didn't go through all that bullshit to get to a place that I'm proud of, only to have to explain myself to people because my adulthood didn't fit into their idea of what adulthood was. Fuck that. So I sign him in, and I situate my sunglasses over my face, and I kiss him goodbye, and I look at the kid, and I say, "I'm Jack's mom, bitch." Because sometimes kids are dicks. And sometimes, for all intents and purposes, I'm an adult.
I'll say this. Jack was here, he'd be proud.
Yeah, he would.
And second of all, you tell that little bitch that Black Sabbath is the shit, okay? You don't turn that down. So ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for the evening. Definitely not